Amy Slayton, a star of 1,000-Pound Sisters, ultimately acquiesced. Departing from her children and family, she exited the residence while grasping her new husband's hand. Her sister Tammy bore the brunt of this decision, repeatedly imploring her, "Amy, please, do not proceed with this. Consider your child." Do you not experience a modicum of sympathy for him? What causes your blindness to your husband's obsession? Set aside thoughts of your husband momentarily. Consider your child and your family. But Amy's heart seems to have turned to stone. She has left everything behind in the pull of love and set out on a new path of life, one whose future is still unknown. The morning sky over Dixon, Kentucky, was unusually gray the day Amy Slayton left. The clouds hung low, mirroring the heavy weight of the decision she had carried for weeks. Her small home, once filled with laughter, children's cries, and the rustling sounds of domestic chaos, now stood eerily silent. In her hand, she held a small suitcase, not just packed with clothes, but with years of pain, disappointment, and the last traces of hesitation. Beside her stood Evan, her new husband, a man who had come into her life like a storm, fierce, passionate, and dangerous. He wasn't like Michael, her ex-husband and the father of her children. Evan was a whirlwind of charm and intensity. He had promised her a new life, one of love, freedom, and escape from the burdens that had weighed her down for years, physically and emotionally. She didn't speak as they walked down the porch steps, but her silence screamed. Inside the house, Tammy Slayton watched from the window, tears streaking down her face. She had pleaded with Amy for days, begged her, warned her, cried with her. She'd seen it all before. The glow in Amy's eyes when she fell for someone, the way she lost herself trying to hold on to love. But this time it was different. This time, Amy wasn't just walking away from her past. She was walking away from her children. Tammy burst out the front door, her voice trembling. "Amy, please don't do this." Amy paused. Her back remained turned, but her grip on Evan's hand loosened. "Look at your child," Tammy cried. "Don't you feel a little pity for him? Why are you so blinded by your husband's infatuation? Forget your husband for a moment. Think about your son, about your family." For a moment, there was silence. A dog barked in the distance. A leaf drifted down from the maple tree in their yard. Amy turned around slowly. Her face was pale, her eyes swollen from crying the night before. But her expression was unreadable, not cold, not angry, just hollow. "I've given everything, Tammy," she said softly. "My body, my time, my sanity. And every time I needed something, someone, I was told to wait, to be strong, to be patient. I've lived for everyone else. I need to know what it feels like to live for me." However, 1,000 LB sisters, did Amy Slayton really get bitten by a camel? Here's why the zoo owner disagrees. 1,000 LB sisters star Amy Slayton's shocking claim of being bitten by a camel during a family zoo trip made headlines, but the zoo owner insists the story doesn't add up. Amy first captured public attention in 2020 alongside her sister, Tammy, on 1,000 LB Sisters Season 1, where they shared their weight loss struggles and complex family life. Once morbidly obese and deeply unhappy, Amy was determined to make a change. During Season 1, Amy committed to improving her health, losing weight naturally before undergoing weight loss surgery. This marked the beginning of her fitness journey. Kentucky woman Amy lost nearly 200 pounds and fulfilled her dream of becoming a mother to two adorable children, Gage and Glenn. Losing weight gave Amy the independence she longed for and allowed her to embrace motherhood fully. However, it was also revealed that her husband, Michael Halterman, wasn't as supportive as she had hoped. In 2023, Amy separated from Michael and embraced life as a single mom. After their divorce was finalized, she began dating again. By 2024, Amy met Brian, fell in love, and started planning a future together, including the possibility of expanding their family. In September 2024, the Crockett County Sheriff's Department responded to reports of a guest being bitten by a camel at the Tennessee Safari Park in Alamo, officials confirmed in a now-deleted Facebook post. When deputies arrived at the scene, They were immediately struck by suspicious odors coming from the guest's vehicle. According to Today, Amanda was arrested for illegal possession of Schedule 1 and Schedule 6 substances, along with 2 counts of child endangerment. Brian, who was also in the vehicle with Amy, faced the same charges stemming from the incident and subsequent vehicle search. They should be handcuffing the damn Camel. Amy broke her silence about the camel bite incident during an episode in Season 7. She shared how it was meant to be a fun family outing quickly turned into the worst day of their lives. At the time, Amy had decided to move in with Brian and wanted to enjoy some quality time with him and the kids beforehand. They were eager to create new memories and explore new adventures, which led them to the idea of visiting a zoo. Brian suggested one where they could drive through, feed the animals, and even pet them from the car. Oh, that would be perfect. Amy thought it would be an enriching experience for the children. Amy thought of it as a family-safe zoo where they didn't even need to get out of their cars to see the animals. The kids were going to be buckled in. It was just the perfect day, as per Amy, until a camel began chomping on Amy's upper arm. "I'm looking down at my arm and it's gashed open with pieces of fat coming out," said Amy, as she had to try and stay calm for the boys in the back seat. Amy thought she was going to lose her arm. Amy began calling and messaging her family while Brian drove them around looking for help. Meanwhile, the zoo had contacted an ambulance on her behalf. Although Amy noted that it would have taken only 15 minutes for it to arrive, the wait felt like 3 hours to her, as her arm had been torn open. According to Amy, the police arrived alongside the ambulance, even though no one had called them. After searching the car, they discovered a small bag of marijuana. While Amy was in the ER getting stitches, the officers began reading her rights, adding to the chaos. Meanwhile, TMZ reported that Amy had a 4-centimeter wide section of skin missing from her right arm near the inner elbow. The zoo owner, who reviewed a photo of the exposed tissue, insisted the injury did not appear to be caused by a camel bite. John, the owner, was adamant it wasn't a bite wound. He claimed there was no way one of their camels had bitten Amy, noting it was unusual that there was no bruising and that the skin looked filleted. According to him, this detail indicates this isn't an animal bite, suggesting another cause for the injury. Fortunately for Amy, the 1000 LB Sisters star managed to record the shocking incident at the zoo. In the TLC footage, a camel is seen approaching her car window and thrusting its head inside to snatch some food. "He leaked on me," Amy exclaims after the animal spits on her leg. As she leans forward to wipe it off, the camera shifts to the other side of the car. "Ow, ow, ow," she cries out as the video reveals the camel biting her arm. The animal clamps down tightly as Amy screams, "F***, the camel just bit me. He got me good." However, 1000 LB Sisters fans jump for joy as Tammy Slayton reveals, "Amazing, new milestone in impressive weight loss journey. My mouth is dropped." Tammy Slayton continues to amaze her followers even years into her massive weight loss journey, and fans said their jaws completely dropped upon hearing about the most recent milestone reached by the reality star. In a preview of this week's episode of 1000 LB Sisters uploaded to TikTok by TLC, Tammy and her sister, Amy Slayton, appear to be at the doctor's for a weigh-in ahead of Tammy's highly anticipated excess skin removal surgery. Score big savings on furniture, home essentials, kitchenware, patio sets, and tech. Am I reading that wrong? Tammy asked in shock as she stood on the scale, with a voice off-screen confirming that she's officially hit 201 pounds. She has lost approximately 50 additional pounds since her last update and emotionally confessed, "I cannot recall the last time I was that small." Upon stepping on the scale, she remarked, "There is no way I am observing that correctly," she stressed in a confessional, yet fans are extremely proud to witness her continued success. "I am exceedingly proud of her. I was confident you could accomplish it, Tammy." One fan expressed admiration in the comments, while another said, "I cannot convey how proud I am of Tammy. Her journey has been remarkable. I am exceedingly proud of her." The accolades persisted, with one supporting admirer confessing, "I could leap for joy for Tammy. I am exceedingly pleased for her." Nonetheless, Tammy Slayton, a star of 1000 LB Sisters, has provided an emotional update following a significant milestone in her transformation journey. After losing an impressive 524 pounds, 237 kilograms, Tammy has received approval for skin removal surgery. In a recent segment from the latest season of 1000 LB Sisters aired by TLC, Tammy, 38, expressed her anxiety before to the treatment. The reality television personality reclined in her hospital bed prior to succumbing to tears. In the film, Tammy commemorated her last evening prior to the surgery with her siblings and their significant others. To new beginnings, Tammy proclaimed while raising a toast to her loved ones. "I love you all." The video subsequently transitions to Tammy in her hospital bed. "I don't believe it has fully registered that I am about to undergo my skin removal," she expressed. "I am nervous, happy, and excited. My emotions are tumultuous," she remarked as she wiped away tears. Fans expressed their excitement for Tammy by conveying their well wishes prior to the procedure. "She merits this. I understand this was recorded some time ago, so I anticipate we will see results imminently. I am elated for Tammy," wrote one follower. Indeed, some fans speculate that Tammy has provided a preview of her surgical results in her recent TikTok video. Last week, Tammy publicly introduced her relationship by sharing an affectionate selfie with her new girlfriend, Andrea. This marked the inaugural occasion Tammy posted a joint photograph with Andrea. "You know, I never discovered love until I gazed into your eyes," Tammy expressed. While this is a significant milestone, some fans commented on how remarkable Tammy appeared. "Tammy, you underwent the removal surgery," commented one fan, garnering over 2,500 likes. A third individual remarked, "I had the surgery. I am exceedingly proud of you. I am pleased that the former Tammy has departed and the authentic Tammy has emerged. Continue, Mommy, you can achieve this." Tammy has made significant progress in her weight loss journey. At one time, she weighed 725 pounds, 328 kilograms. During her most recent checkup, she was astonished to see the scale read 201 pounds, 91 kilograms. "Am I misreading that?" she expressed amazement in another tape posted by TLC. "I cannot recall the last occasion I was that diminutive." Elementary. Tammy's brother Chris Combs jumped in. An incredible achievement indeed. In the brand new series, Tammy will share the results of her surgery officially. However, 1000 LB Sisters Tammy Slayton looks so different after skin removal surgery amid 500 pounds weight loss. 1000 LB Sisters star Tammy Slayton has shown off the results of her plastic surgery, and she looks so. The 38-year-old underwent excess skin removal surgery after losing 500 pounds and stunned fans with her dramatic transformation. After several delays, Tammy was recently approved for the procedure and unveiled her noticeably slimmer face, which no longer has excess skin hanging from her chin, in videos on TikTok. In one clip, Tammy displays her slimmed-down appearance in a gorgeous selfie that she used a filter on, which gives her a makeover to show what she would look like in the 1920s, 1940s, 1960s, and 1980s. Another clip featured a loved-up photo of Tammy and her girlfriend Andrea, but her fans were distracted by the TLC star's refined jawline. "You look awesome, Tammy. I am delighted for you. It is nice to witness your renewed happiness, and I am genuinely pleased for you," one individual said, while another stated, "Indeed, that skin removal has enhanced the facial appearance and rendered all the effort significantly more rewarding. Excellent work, Tammy. You appear fantastic, and I am certain you feel significantly improved." A multitude of individuals take great pride in your accomplishments. A third person remarked, "Tammy, you underwent facial skin removal surgery. You appear exceptionally well. Adore it. I am exceedingly proud of you and your achievements." Another remarked, "Tammy, you have undergone your surgery. Your expression reveals it. You appear radiant. I am delighted for you." In an upcoming episode of the TLC series scheduled to air on June 3rd, filmed prior to her surgery, Tammy articulates her apprehensions regarding the procedure. "Primarily, the pain and my anxiety about my appearance post-surgery," Tammy states. I am accustomed to the excess skin on my arms, and when I awaken on Sunday or Saturday, I will no longer have this. She further remarks, I will appear somewhat normal from the face down. It is both daunting and gratifying, Tammy acknowledges, noting that the surgery will significantly alter aspects of her life beyond mere aesthetics. I am uncertain about my feelings upon awakening from surgery and observing my reflection, she remarks in the video. Even the act of showering will be markedly different because I apologize for the candidness. I must reach my hand deep underneath, which is rather challenging. In under a week, I will no longer possess that. Tammy underwent bariatric surgery in 2022 prior to entering a 14-month weight loss rehabilitation program, which has significantly transformed her life. She frequently shares updates on TikTok and discussed her profound changes last year. My quality of life has improved immensely, she stated in a video. Prior to my rehabilitation, I was resentful, discontented, profoundly suicidal, depressed, and unkind. Everyone despised me, and they continue to do so. I possessed an indifferent demeanor during that time. I continue to do so, albeit to a lesser extent. I am still engaged in self-improvement. Nonetheless, Tammy Slayton of 1,000 Pound Sisters is at a loss for words when she achieves an astonishing weight loss milestone. Tammy Slayton, star of 1,000 Pound Sisters, was astonished and speechless upon achieving a significant weight loss milestone on the TLC program. Tammy Slayton, a star of 1,000 Pound Sisters, was left dumbfounded by her significant weight loss accomplishment, having commenced the series at an astonishing 700 pounds. In Season 7 of the show, Tammy was astonished to observe that the scales on TLC's reality program indicated her weight had decreased to 201 pounds, a remarkable decline from her initial weight 5 years earlier. The crucial moment on the scale was posted on TLC's Instagram, accompanied by the caption, Tammy cannot believe her eyes when she steps on the scale. Am I misreading that? She said, before receiving confirmation of the decrease. Tammy expressed, I have lost approximately 50 pounds since my arrival. Overwhelmed with joy, she received encouragement from her sister Amy. 201 pounds, that's truly remarkable. Reflecting on her new size, Tammy stated, I cannot recall the last time I was this small, according to the Mirror US. In a candid confessional, she conveyed her astonishment. When I stepped on the scale and saw 200, I thought, there is no way I am seeing that correctly. However, your children, Tammy commenced, advancing. Amy interjected, I am not forsaking them. I am prioritizing my own needs for once. Perhaps for the first occasion, Tammy's gaze intensified. That is not love, Amy. That constitutes an escape. Amy remained silent. Instead, she pivoted and proceeded toward the vehicle where Evan awaited. As the engine ignited, Tammy remained motionless in the driveway, observing the taillights go into the distance. Amy and Evan relocated to Nashville, where he was employed as a bartender and part-time musician. Initially, it was euphoria. The experience of freedom was delightful. There were no diapers to change, no therapy appointments to fulfill, and no prolonged days burdened by strangers' judgments regarding her weight or decisions. It was merely the two of them, lovers opposing the world. However, the honeymoon period was short-lived. Evan, formerly gentle and considerate, started to transform. He consumed a greater quantity. He vanished for several hours. He attributed his failures, misfortune, and fury to Amy, despite the lack of rationale. He derided her weight, subsequently offering an apology accompanied by roses. He mocked her weeping, then embraced her in bed at night, murmuring promises she yearned to trust. Amy started to sense the walls constricting around her. The autonomy she believed she had attained now resembled an alternative form of confinement, more isolating and somber. She longed for her children's laughter. She longed for Tammy's domineering affection. She even longed for the tumult. The silence in Evan's flat was more oppressive than any noise from her previous residence. One evening, she discovered herself gazing at an image of her son. He grasped a toy truck, beaming with unreserved joy, characteristic of children when they perceive their environment as secure. Amy remained up that night. 3 months later, a taxi arrived at the gravel driveway in Dixon. Tammy was seated on the porch, gently rocking in a chair, when she observed the recognizable figure emerge. Amy appeared more slender, not in a bodily sense but in a spiritual one. Her shoulders were hunched. Her eyes bore a burden more profound than sorrow, the burden of awareness. She possessed no luggage, a mere snapshot in her grasp. Tammy rose to her feet. She proceeded without haste. She refrained from yelling. She effortlessly extended her arms. Amy approached them and, starting to weep, "I believed love would cure me," she wept. "I believed I was prioritizing my own interests. However, I abandoned the sole aspects of my being that ever held genuine significance." Tammy embraced her more firmly. "You erred. However, you are present now. That is what is significant." Amy did not resolve all issues instantaneously. The journey to reunite with her children was arduous, and the trust she had fractured required time to restore. Nonetheless, she remained. She contended. She performed labor. Moreover, she demonstrated attentive listening. Occasionally, the responsibilities we bear are not measured in pounds or physical loads, but rather in the decisions we undertake, the individuals we cherish, and the lives we endeavor to construct. Amy had ultimately discovered her resilience, not in the embrace of a man, but in the fragments of herself she had previously abandoned, now collected once more, secured within the abode to which she had returned. Nonetheless, the July sun shone intensely on Dixon, Kentucky, creating elongated shadows on the Slayton family porch. The day was anticipated to be favorable. TLC producers were present for a special shot, and Amy had just emerged from her inaugural solo therapy session, appearing noticeably uplifted, not in weight, but in spirit. For the first time, she sensed that she was asserting control over her own narrative. Tammy, meanwhile, was experiencing one of her moods. The camera crew arrived in the early afternoon. They were preparing for an intimate scene between the sisters, a moment of profound sensitivity for the audience. They were unprepared for the subsequent explosion. It commenced with a minor occurrence. "I fail to comprehend why you consistently behave as though you are superior to me merely because you have 2 children now," Tammy retorted, her tone laden with disdain. Amy, having just given Gage a juice box and lulled Glenn to sleep, turned gently toward her sister. "Tammy, this is not about being superior. I am endeavoring to lead a different life now. I must." Tammy expressed her disdain by rolling her eyes. "Distinct. Young woman, you continue to reside in the same town, consuming the same unhealthy food, merely feigning transformation." The crew became silent, cameras focused on the sisters. The boom microphone loomed above the scene like a vulture above a battlefield. Amy tightened her jaw. "Tammy, do you know? I endeavor. Daily. For my children, for myself. Your actions consistently hinder my progress. Do you imply that I believe I am superior? I wish you want more for yourself," Tammy derisively remarked. "Oh, so I am the issue now. You were not expressing that sentiment when I assisted in raising Gage while Michael was working double shifts." Amy's eyes brimmed with tears, but they no longer conveyed sorrow. Instead, they radiated intensity. "Did you assist? Tammy, you reprimanded me for requesting assistance. You behaved as though babysitting was an act of charity. And may it be prevented that I allocate 5 minutes for my own respite, because you center everything around yourself." Amy forcefully placed her water bottle on the porch, causing the plastic to fracture against the wood. "Do you wish to discuss selfishness? You remain in that residence, resentful of the world, awaiting others to rectify your life on your behalf. I care for you, Tammy, but I can no longer supervise mature individuals." Quietude. Even the cicadas appeared to halt. Tammy's lip quivered. For an instant, her defenses diminished, revealing a fleeting weakness on her countenance. But as the cameras adjusted, her pride sprang forth once more. She averted her gaze and, without uttering another word, maneuvered herself back into the house, forcefully closing the screen door behind her. The producers signaled cut. However, no one reacted. Amy stood on the porch, her shoulders quivering as a tear cascaded down her cheek. That evening, she shared a story on Instagram. Unfiltered. No modifications. At times, love is not subdued. At times, it is cacophonous, chaotic, and challenging. I will perpetually cherish my sister. However, I cannot sacrifice my identity in an attempt to rescue her. The remarks inundated. Assistance.
Critique. Compassion.
Assessment. Throughout the entire ordeal, Amy remained silent. For the first time in an extended period, she refrained from attempting to justify herself. She was merely attempting to inhale. Nonetheless, the atmosphere in Dixon, Kentucky was laden with a silence that only sorrow could evoke. The morning sun emerged from behind the clouds, oblivious to the tempest that had already engulfed Tammy Slayton's heart. 3 days had elapsed since Tammy last received communication from Caleb. She speculated that he may be occupied, or perhaps his phone had once again depleted its battery, as it had on numerous occasions prior. However, when the phone rang at 7:42 a.m. and Amy's quivering voice uttered, "Tammy, sit down," the surrounding world fell silent.
What?
What is it? Tammy inquired, her voice trembling. Amy was weeping on the other end. Tammy, this is Caleb. He expired last night. The phone fell from Tammy's grasp and struck the ground with a muted thud, mirroring the sudden drop of her heart within her chest. She gazed vacantly forward, the words reverberating like a malevolent whisper in her ears. Deceased. Caleb. Departed. No, she murmured, more to herself rather than to anyone else. Negative, negative, negative. Amy hurried over in a matter of minutes. Tammy sat on the side of her bed, tears silently tracing lines down her face. The sorrow had not yet manifested in screams or sobs. It was more profound than that. It was a sorrow that constricted around her chest, inhibiting her ability to breathe. He was expected to improve, Tammy whispered as Amy grasped her hand. He assured me that we would age together. He stated that I rescued him. Amy knelt before her sister, her eyes glistening with her own grief. Indeed, you did, Tam. You bestowed upon him affection. You instilled hope in him. He was not solitary. Tammy declined with a shake of her head. Why did he abandon me? No response was given, merely silence. Amy embraced her sister, clutching her firmly as the tears finally flowed. Tammy cried onto her sister's shoulder, a cry imbued with anguish and grief that resonated throughout the modest home. Subsequently, that evening, Tammy sat solitary on the porch, enveloped in a blanket. The breeze was mild, and the environment appeared more tranquil than customary. I loved you, Caleb, she declared into the darkness. I continue to do so. She recalled their initial video chat from rehabilitation, how his eyes illuminated with his smile, and how he elicited laughter from her when nothing else could. She recalled their nocturnal conversations, his affirmations of her beauty, even during her most challenging moments, and their aspirations of residing in a modest rural home, just the two of them, embracing a simple, joyful life. He was not merely an acquaintance from rehabilitation, she confided to the stars. He was my confidant. Amy emerged and took a seat beside her. They engaged in minimal conversation. They remained seated, side by side, clasping hands, attuned to the chirping of crickets and the sporadic noise of passing vehicles. Subsequent days proved challenging for Tammy. Grief assailed her in surges, sometimes intense, occasionally mild, but perpetually evident. She discovered comfort in Caleb's antiquated writings and the voice messages he transmitted throughout his sleepless nights. I have faith in you, Tammy, one message stated. You possess greater strength than you realize. Do not permit anything to diminish your brilliance. Gradually, Tammy commenced her ascent. She resumed therapy. She permitted herself to weep. She permitted herself to recall. She continued to love Caleb, even in death. Because love is eternal. It resides in past messages, in recollections, in the simultaneous sorrow and joy of your heart. It persists in every breath you take when you believed you could not continue. Tammy continued onward. for the assurance of illumination following the bleakest night. Nevertheless, snow descended gently onto the little village of Dixon, Kentucky, enveloping the landscape in a serene white shroud. Within Amy's residence, tranquility was conspicuously absent. Christmas at the Slayton residence was intended to be enchanting. It was the annual occasion when the entire family endeavored to set aside their conflicts and celebrate collectively. The lights were hung, Amy prepared her renowned ham with a sweet pineapple glaze, and Gage was wandering about in a Santa onesie. Even Michael had organized the garage to accommodate everyone at a large folding table. As is customary, it was Tammy who instigated the turmoil. Amanda had just entered with her purchased pumpkin pie when Tammy, positioned in her motorized wheelchair on the kitchen island, squinted her eyes. So you have finally arrived? After disregarding my messages for the entire month? Amanda fluttered her eyelids. I've been employed in 2 positions and assisting my grandmother with her hip. Do not approach me with hostility. Amy hurried over, her shirt illuminated with glaring, flickering lights. Everyone, not today. It is Christmas. We have the infant present. However, Tammy was determined to hold on. You consistently employ work as a pretext. You consistently fail to be present for me. Since I lost weight and resumed dating, you have been exhibiting signs of jealousy. Amanda let the pie fall onto the counter, the tin producing a resounding bang. Envious? Regarding you?
Kindly.
I am fatigued by your manipulative, guilt-inducing behavior and emotional outbursts. Individuals are treading cautiously in your presence, Tam. And just as swiftly, it commenced. Michael seized Gage and withdrew into the corridor as to a soldier escaping a war. Misty attempted to divert the conversation. Did you all observe the church lights this year? But her words were drowned out by the sound of Tammy advancing, directing her finger at Amanda. I anticipated that you would jeopardize this. You are the reason Mother ceased organizing Christmas celebrations. One must consistently be vociferous and confrontational. Amanda folded her arms, her voice escalating. Negative, Tammy. You initiate it year, just to weep like an infant when faced with a rebuttal. The dispute escalated dramatically. Allegations emerged, long-standing resentments regarding caregiving during Tammy's illness, disputes over inheritance, and a contentious argument concerning the destruction of Mama's ceramic angel pendant in 2012. Amidst the chaos, Amy remained motionless, her eyes widened and heart racing. She surveyed the disorder, wrapping paper strewn about, the aroma of cinnamon candles intermingling with the odor of anxiety, and lost her composure. Everyone, be silent, she shouted, striking the table with such force that a plastic cup of eggnog was propelled into the mashed potatoes. Quietude. Amy inhaled deeply.
Her voice faltered.
This was intended to be Gage's inaugural authentic Christmas. You are arguing as if we are not even related. For what purpose did I undertake all of this? Regarding this? Tammy's expression relaxed slightly. Amanda averted her gaze, feeling embarrassed. Amy dried her tears and began gathering the plates. You may remain or you may depart. However, I will not permit you to jeopardize this for my child. For an instant, no one stirred. Amanda gradually approached Tammy. I apologize, she stated softly. I did not intend to enter aggressively. I long for your presence. I long for our connection. Prior to this turmoil, Tammy gazed at her hands. I also miss it. However, it is challenging. I am attempting, Mandy. I assure you that I am. They embraced, clumsily, across the arm of the wheelchair, but it marked a beginning. Subsequently, that evening, they gathered at the table, exchanging roles and engaging in subdued laughter. The television broadcasted A Charlie Brown Christmas, while Gage joyfully babbled, his face smeared with sweet potatoes. The tree leaned slightly, the angel ornament remained fractured, but the family, imperfect and weathered, was united. Perhaps that sufficed. Greetings, esteemed viewers. Welcome to my channel. I am Mina, and I hope your day is going splendidly. If you like the video, please remember to subscribe to the channel.